Hello there once again. I want to welcome you to another episode of the Gift Podcast Live. Today we're continuing with part 3 of our series, Wanting More for God. We're looking at the prayer of Jabez, as found in 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verses 9 and 10. In part 2, I gave you the second principle, and it is this. In order for a change to take place in your life, a change must first begin in you. God has a wonderful plan for your life. He really wants to bless you indeed. Believe me, He will not withhold any good thing from those who love Him and who will live for Him. Now, why is that? Someone might ask. The reason is because God keeps His promises. He promises that those who love Him and those who are the called according to His purpose, that He will take care of them. Jabez loved God. His heart was toward God, and his desire was to do the will of God. He asked for God's blessing, but he left it up to God as to just how He wanted to bless him. Now, last time we examined how Jabez believed his life could be different, that his history was not his destiny, and that his possibilities were limitless with God. We talked about from pain to possibilities and provisions. Well, today we want to go one step further, and we want to talk about from possibilities to presence. Like Jabez, we must believe that God will supply all of our needs according to His riches and glory by Christ Jesus. For you and me to receive all that God would have for us, we must make sure that we're right with Him, that we're consistently taking inventory on our lives, and making sure, addressing any areas that would displease Him. This, I believe, is the heart that Jabez possessed toward God. It was a heart that delighted in Him. Jabez realized, Lord, I cannot do this without You. When You bless me, not if You bless me, but when You bless me, I need Your hand to be with me. Now, why would he ask God that His hand be with him? I believe that it is because the hand of God represents the presence of God. We have this assurance that God would never leave us, nor will He ever forsake us. But make no mistake, there is another presence that is also with us as well. It is the presence of sin. Romans chapter 7, the Apostle Paul talks about his own daily struggle with the flesh. And he says here in Romans, the 15th verse, I believe, chapter 7, verse 15, he says, For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that I do. He says, Now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Sin is ever present. This tells me that the capacity to sin is always present with each and every one of us. Jabez realized this. He realized that success and the abundance of blessing that God would have for him could trigger the temptation to sin if his eyes, his heart, and his mind were not steadfast toward God. In James chapter 1, verses 13 through 15, James says this, Let no man say, when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth He any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So what is the remedy? What is the solution for us as we wait for God to do in us and through us? I believe it is applying this third principle that I want to share with you today. And it is this: the more of God I possess, the more for God I can accomplish. Allowing the Spirit of God in us to guide us and to lead us. When I walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit, the Apostle Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You see, for Jabez, it was never about him. It was always about God. And I'm reminded of what John the Baptist, his commitment to always put Christ first. What did he say? He said this: I must decrease that he increase. And then the Apostle Paul picked up with it. He said this: not I, but it's the Christ that lives within me. More of Jesus and less of me. This is what I believe made Jabez special. It was all about God. Lord, bless me indeed. Enlarge my coast. But what I want people to know more than anything, that it's not about me, it's about you. Whatever happens, whatever you do in my life, wherever you take me, however I might blow up, people would want to praise me. But no, it's not me, it's you. This request for God's hand to be with him, I believe what Jabez was doing was he was acknowledging the need of God's continued presence in his life. I leave you with these words from the great hymnologist William Williams. Guide me, O thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me with thy powerful hand. Lord, I want to do more, and I want to be more for you. But I need you. I need you in my life. I need your presence. I need your hand to be with me. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you once again for joining us today. And I look forward as we continue with part 4 of this series. Please share this word with someone. Like us and subscribe to our channel. And the Lord's will, we'll see you on the next episode of the Gift Podcast Live. God bless you. Thank you. Take care.